Warning: this rant contains spoilers for both the manga and anime of FullMetal Alchemist and the anime Planet of the Beast King, which is not nearly as good or as popular as FullMetal Alchemist. If you don't want to be spoiled, don't listen. Don't say I didn't warn you. Anyway, I just want to talk today about something that has become rampant in some of the most recent manga I have read and some of the recent animes I have watched. I have taken to calling this unexplainable phenomenon high-speed love, which really pushes the concept of love at first sight to its highest extremes. First, I'll talk about the FullMetal Alchemist manga, which takes a more humorous stab at the idea than the anime and Planet of the Beast King. For those of you who have actually read the manga, which is about 100 times more better than the anime in the first place, you'll be familiar with the character Mei. And while she pushes high-speed love to the extreme, she manages to do it more humorously. Her misadventures in high-speed love begin when someone tells her about Edward Elric. Ed's description as a 15-year-old with blonde hair, gold eyes, red coat, braids, and being an alchemy prodigy causes her to fall in love with him instantly, even though she's never met him before and is missing out the rather important information that he is short. As she travels to find him, she grows more and more in love with the picture of him that she has in her head. She eventually begins to have fantasies of her handsome, sexy, classy Edward asking her reluctant father for her hand in marriage, being refused, and having some sort of Romeo and Juliet-style forbidden romance. This, of course, leads to the mushiest love line that the real Ed would never say: "Opposition only makes our love burn brighter." Of course, when she finally comes face to face with the real Edward Elric, her heart is crushed that he fails to match the picture of him that she has in her head, and instantly falls out of love with him again. But fear not for Mei. Once Alphonse told her that, in his real body, he was taller than Edward and nicer than him too. She instantly fell in love with her mental image of what Alphonse would look like if he still had a normal body. And now, let's move on to the less humorous ones. I'll start with the most believable high-speed love story and leave the completely insane one for last. The first unbelievable high-speed love that I'm going to discuss is in the FullMetal Alchemist anime. Maybe you already know which one I'm talking about. I'm talking about the near-canon pairing of Edward and Rose. Even though it is one-sided, I do believe it is unbelievable, even from Rose's point of view. Okay, let's break this down. One day, a 12-year-old boy strolls into town and stays for about 2 days. During that time, he manages to scare the crap out of you by revealing the secret of his and his brother's bodies, clashes with the priest you believe in more than any other person in the world, exposes said priest Khan, destroys every hope you ever had in God, and on top of it all, he manages to walk out of town with your heart too? Yeah, not very likely. I guess it goes without saying that I believe it takes more than 2 days to fall in love with someone, even if you exclude the fact that she was still completely hung up on her dead boyfriend. Okay, so let's fast forward to the end of the anime where it's suddenly revealed that Rose is in love with Edward. During the second to last episode, she perhaps gives us all a look at just how strong her love is. She stands there and does nothing while Edward is brutally murdered. Ah yes, true love is wonderful, isn't it? Oh, by the way, I did warn you that there were spoilers in this rant, right? Now, shall we move on to just about the most unbelievable love story of all time? Or, at least the most unbelievable love story I've ever seen. I seriously thought I'd never say this, but fanon relationships actually makes more sense than this canon one. I am, of course, talking about the so-called relationship between Thor and Karim in Planet of the Beast King. This relationship supposedly develops even faster than Edward and Rose's. While theirs only took 2 days, this one doesn't even take 2 hours. This is the basic gist of their relationship. I've just met you and you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I've just met you and I hate you because you're the enemy of the man I love. Oh no, the pretty lady I just met is missing. I must foolishly risk my life to find her. Talk about thinking with the wrong head. You risk your life to find me, but I still hate you. You're the most beautiful woman I've ever met since a few hours ago. Want to get married? Well, I am in love with your enemy, but sure, why not? And they make out for a little while. We're back now, and we suddenly decided to get married. Oh no, I'm being attacked. I'm dying. Oh no, the love of my life is dead. How will I go on living without her? Oh, I don't know, Thor. You seemed to manage just fine without her up until about 3 hours ago. And if that wasn't bad enough, a few hours after Karim is tragically killed, Thor decides that he wants to marry the girl who has been chasing after him the entire series, and she, of course, is promptly killed. Totally epic high-speed love, right? So, I'd like to send this out to all the people involved with manga and anime. Please at least try to make your relationships more believable, except for Ed and May and Ed and Rose, because Ed and Winry totally kicks both their asses. But I digress. Some of us like to get involved with the characters' relationships, and if they are half-assed or hastily done, it just looks crappy. Anyway, this is Orlando Bloomfan, over and out.